Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Today we are working on a snowflake hexagon, and these are so versatile. You can make blankets with them, you can make tops with them, you can make ornaments with them, you can make stockings with them, coasters, all sorts of things. So they are super easy, and in one of our future videos we're going to make a stocking with it, but for now I'm just going to teach you the basic hexagon so that you can start making your own projects for the festive season or for whatever season. So you're going to need, if you'd like this sort of look, you're going to need two contrasting colors. I used yarn from the Advent yarn packages for this year, and I will let that kind of scroll across the screen. Those are packages, and they came with 14 mini skeins and a whole bunch of other things, and so that you could open and have fun over the festive season. So I'm using just one of the speckled yarns, but you can use for the snowflake part if you have just plain white, or you can use silver, or whatever color you want, really. It doesn't matter, you can mix and match. And then I'm just going to have a solid, one of the reds that are in the package as well. So, and this is fingering sock weight, but you can use, if you want to make these bigger, you can use bigger, thicker yarn. You can use whatever you have, so acrylic or DK, wool, whatever. So this is just merino nylon. It's got a little bit of stretch to it, and it's fingering sock weight, and I'm using a 3.5, you can see that 3.5 millimeter hook, but just use the size, the hook size that's appropriate for the yarn you're using. And you will also obviously need some scissors and a tapestry needle just to sew in all of the ends at the end. But yeah, that's it. So let's just get started right away. You're going to start with a magic ring, or you can chain 4 and then slip stitch into the first stitch to make a circle. So whichever you are comfortable with. I'm just going to do a magic ring like this, and then whichever way you're doing it, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and this is going to count as your first double crochet into your ring, and you're going to do 11 more double crochets for the first round. So just do yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and just keep going around until you have 12 of these. So you're going to count that chain 3 as well. So I will be quiet and let you just concentrate and work on your 12 double crochets. Okay, so once you have 12 double crochets, you're just going to pull your loop closed. Just make a little circle out of that, just like that, and then you're going to slip stitch into the top of your chain 3 space, or chain 3 that you did at the beginning. So just slip stitch, and that is round 1. So for round 2, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then into that same space you're going to do a small puff stitch. So usually you do yarn over 4 times to do a puff stitch, but we're going to do that just twice. So you're going to, I'll show you what I mean by that. So you're going to yarn over like you're doing a double crochet, and then go into the stitch that you just did the chain 3, and then pull up a loop and pull it up quite high, and then yarn over again, and then pull up a loop just like that, and then yarn over and pull through all of those loops. So you have a small puff stitch there, and then you're going to chain 2, and then into that same space you're going to do another one of these puff stitches. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all of those loops just like that. So you are going to, into the next stitch, you're going to skip that stitch and then jump over to the next stitch and do another one of these puff stitches. So you're going to, so skip that one, go into the next one, do another one of those puff stitches, those small puff stitches, and then chain 2, and into that same stitch again you are going to do another puff stitch. So it's a V puff stitch that you're making. So you're going to skip the next stitch, and then into the next one you're going to do another V puff stitch, and then chain 2, and then another puff stitch, then skip this one, into the next one, do another one. So you do this a total of 6 times. So you will have 6 puffy V's. I just lost that one there. So just keep going all the way around until you have 6 of these. Okay, once you've done your last of these 6 puff stitches, you're just going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 that you started out with, just like that. So that's round 2 done. We are doing round 3 now. You're just going to slip stitch into the space below that you just slip stitch into, and then climb over and slip stitch into the chain 2 space here. So just slip stitch into that. So you're basically kind of crawling over into the chain 2 space. Now you're going to chain 3, and then you're going to do 1 more double crochet, and then chain 3 actually this time, and then into that same space, that chain space, do 2 more double crochets, just like that. Then you're going to chain 1, and then jump over to the next chain space in between the puffs, and then do 2 double crochets, chain 3, and then 2 more double crochets into that same space, and then you're going to chain 1 and then jump over to the next chain space in between the puff stitches and do 2 more double crochets, chain 3, and then 2 more double crochets into that same space, and then chain 1, and then into the next chain space you're doing the same thing. So just do that all the way around until you have 6 of these, and I will meet you when you're done that. So it's just 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets, then a chain space, and then on to the next puff stitch. Okay, so once you've done round 3, just make sure that you do your last chain at the end of that round, and then slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 that you made at the beginning, just like that. And that is round 3 done. Okay, so for round 4, we're just going to slip stitch our way into until we get into this chain space. So that's 2 slip stitches, just kind of climb into the, creep along until you get to that chain space. And then you're going to chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do these puffs again, but we're going to do 2 of them. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all of that, and then do a second one, yarn over, just like that. So you'll have 2 of them, and then you're going to chain 3, and then you're going to do another 2 puff stitches into that same chain space, just like that. And then you're going to chain 2 and then jump over to the next chain space and do that again. So it's 2 puff stitches, and then chain 3, and then into that same space 2 more puff stitches, just like that, and then chain 2, and then you're on to the next chain space, that's the peak there, and do 2 more puff stitches, chain 3, and then 2 more puff stitches into that same space, and then chain 2, and then just continue that all the way around until you have 6 of those. So I will leave you to that to finish off round 4. All right, so once you are done round 4, just remember to do your last chain 2 before you slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 that you started out with, just like that. And for round 5, we are going to just sort of creep along again and do a slip stitch into the top of the stitches until, so 2 of those 2 slip stitches, and until you get to the center or the middle, that chain space there. And then, so for round 5, you're going to chain 3 again, and we are going to do 2 more double crochets into that chain space, and then you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then into that same space you're going to do 3 double crochets, just like that. And then you are going to chain 2 and then jump over to the next chain 3 space that you made, and in between the puffs, and then do 3 double crochets, chain 3, and then 3 more double crochets into that same space, then chain 2 and jump over to the next puff stitch in between the puff stitches, and again it's 3 double crochets, chain 3, and then 3 more double crochets. And then you're going to chain 2 and then repeat. So just jump to the middle of the puff stitches from below and then do 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets. So I will leave you to do round 5, and then I will meet you back when you are done. Make sure that you do the last chain 2 before you slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 from that you started out with. Okay, so once you are done round 5, we are going to, like I said, just make sure that you do your chain 2 and then slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 that you made at the beginning. And so that is your snowflake. It doesn't look like one quite yet, but it will, I promise you. It will end up looking like that. So for now, you are going to just fasten this off. So just take your scissors and pull your yarn through just like that, nice and tight. So you are done with that, and you're going to grab your second color now, whatever color you want, and you are going to, continuing with the same hook size as well, so just do a slip knot. So just pull your yarn through and just create a slip knot, and then you're going to find one of the peaks in your snowflake, so like the little branches or arrows. So just find any one of those and pull your new yarn, your second color through, just like that. And then you're just going to lock it into place with a yarn over and pull through just like that. So now we are going to chain 3. This is for round 6. And into that same chain space, you're going to do another double crochet. So that chain 3 is going to count as a double crochet. And then you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And into that same space, you're going to do 2 more double crochets. So that's going to be a corner. And that's what you do in every corner. Okay. So now, see how you have 3 double crochets here? You're going to do a double crochet into the top of the second one. So if you pull here, you'll see that there is a stitch here. You're going to skip that one, go into the second one and do a double crochet, and then do a double crochet into the next stitch. And then into that gap, you're going to do a double crochet. And then into the next 3 stitches, you're going to do a double crochet. So in total, across every side is going to have 6 double crochets. So we've got those 6 there, and then we've made it to a corner, so we're going to do 2 double crochets, and then chain 3, and then 2 more double crochets into that corner, and then we are back to another side of this. So again, just remember that you skip this first stitch, go into the second one, do a double crochet, and then into the next stitch a double crochet, into the chain space a double crochet, and then into the next 3 a double crochet. So that is the pattern for this round, for round 6. So we made it to a corner, that's 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets, and so you're just going to continue that until you have a border around your snowflake, and it will create then these little branches here as well. So just continue along the same way, and I will meet you back when you are done round 6. All right, so this is what your project might look like. Now, if it's bunching up a little bit, that's fine. You can always block them as well, and that will give you a nicer sort of, your snowflake will look more snowflakey as well. But if you are done round 6, this is what it looks like. Just slip stitch after you've done your last row of 6 double crochets. You're just going to slip stitch into the top of your chain 3, and then you're going to chain 3 for round 7, and into that same or just beside that stitch, I guess, you're going to do a double crochet just before the chain 3 space. So you'll have this will count as a double crochet. So we are into a corner. If you remember, every corner is 2 double crochets, chain 3, and then 2 double crochets, just like that. And then you are going to do double crochets all the way across. So you're going to have 10 of those. So to make sure you have 10, where you've just finished your corner, just kind of pull and tug there, because sometimes this stitch is hiding underneath the double crochets you've just done. So make sure that you can see that one and you do a double crochet into that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, when you've finished that, you will be at a corner again. So just do your 2 double crochets, chain 3, and then 2 more double crochets into that same chain space. And then we are are onto the next sort of side here of the hexagon. Make sure again that you pull that stitch so that it's not hiding, and you work your first one into that, and then just go across and do another 10. So I will leave you to do that, and that is round number 7, and I'll meet you back when you're done. Okay, so this should be sort of what your project will look like after you've done round 7. If you are wondering, you will have done 8 stitches across the final row because you did 2 to start with here before you did your corner. So you're just going to, after this 8th one, you just slip stitch into the top of the chain 3, and that is it. If you want to make these even bigger, you can, or just grow this and make placemats or doilies or whatever. You can just keep going around and around and around, and it will grow and get bigger. So just continue that way. But this is the basic pattern. It's 7 rounds, and that's it. I hope that was helpful. If it was, make sure to like and subscribe. So just hit that like button. Oh, or not, I don't pressure people, but yeah, I hope it was easy enough. But that's it. For the next tutorial, we will make these into a stocking. So make sure that you have a bunch of these. You're going to need about 16 of them if you want to continue. And if not, you can make all sorts of things, make different things with them, and you can even, make centerpieces and whatnot. So have fun with this and be creative. So that's it for now. Love yourself, love each other, take care, bye-bye.